I'm 80% I really want to change because it's about time.
Yeah.
And I'm 20% kind of, oh, I really don't want to.
Right, we need to change that to 95% want to.
My wife hates it. Absolutely hates me with long hair.
So I'm going to be the favourite person then after this, yeah.
Already, you're her favourite person.
This is probably the most fun I've ever had on this channel.
Transformation Donation.
All right, guys, welcome back to episode 2 of Transformation Donation here at the Regal Gentleman Studio. Now, today we've got David in the chair, but David is our second person who has to try and beat Sal, who, from the first episode, which I'm sure Liam will put up here now, Sal was at 13.5 inches in his donation, right? And as you can see from the video, it was one pretty cool transformation, right? David could overtake him today. So we've just had a little chat.
Yep.
And you when we had a little chat before you came in because you were talking about going short. Now, what is it you're actually thinking of doing for your transformation?
Well, it's been like this since COVID.
Okay.
I'm that typical sort of guy who grew his hair out over COVID because I could.
Yeah.
Never was able to grow my hair out because blokes don't have long hair kind of thing.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But also it's hard when you're out and about and you need a haircut and you're like, well, nothing stopped me from getting one, whereas COVID stopped us from getting one. So yeah, I get
and then
that.
Once it grew out, I sort of became attached to it. So I'm sort of, I'm 80% I really want to change because it's about time.
Yeah.
And I'm 20% kind of, oh, I really don't want to.
Right, we need to change that to 95% want to.
It's fine, don't worry, we're all good. And my wife hates it.
Okay.
Absolutely hates me with long hair. So
I'm going to be the favourite person then after this, yeah.
Already, you're her favourite person. The fact that I'm even here, she loves it. So that's all good.
That's good. That's good.
Again, I've kind of always had short hair my whole life. I've had a variety of different cuts, everything from literally a zero, like shaved off, to kind of the standard gentleman's haircut, with
like the part over to one side.
With the part over to one side.
Nice.
I ride a motorcycle every day.
Yeah.
I need something that has a little bit of length to it. I don't want a buzz cut.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a little bit of length to be able to do something with it.
Yeah.
Very short on the back and sides is fine.
Yeah.
But something I think if I can just like scrunch it up. So when I get off the bike, run my fingers through it, maybe a little bit of some sort of product just to kind of mess it up.
Yeah.
And then that would be enough for me. Just really easy to take care of. I go to the gym a lot as well, so I'm like showering all the time. And if I just get out something that's just I can tussle up, basically.
Yeah. So the thing is with you at the moment is that long hair works because you can tie it up.
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't tie it up, it doesn't work, does it? If you go in the gym a lot, riding motorcycles a lot, just everyday life probably isn't working. And the biggest thing is that your wife doesn't like it. Yeah. So I think a short haircut is probably good for your lifestyle, to be fair. And I do say this a lot to people, it's got to work for your lifestyle. From the sounds of it, a short haircut will work for you. Yeah. So have you looked at any ideas? You looked at any pictures?
I have.
Yeah, okay, let's have a little look.
So I trolled through Instagram and found a few things that I think would work.
Let's have a little look. Ah, okay, cool.
So something like this, again, short back and sides, but a little bit longer on top.
Yeah.
Something like that. That's got a bit more grey in it. I think that's actually an AI image, but you
I think the first one was as well. To be fair,
kind of get the idea.
Thankfully, though, these AI images are quite realistic. There's some that are like long with like blonde highlights and flowing and all that. They're very unrealistic.
Yeah,
but
even something like that.
That's
like
nice, man. Yeah.
So a bit messy on top.
Yeah.
Doesn't need to be too specific.
Perfect. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think the main thing is short and textured. Ideal for anyone who's got an active lifestyle, anyone who wants to go short, anyone who wears helmets a lot. Like we get a lot of cyclists, as you'd imagine, around London. So short texture is great. And again, like I said, if you don't want to put the product in before you get on your bike, just get yourself like a little, something that's like a cream or a powder or something like that. Pop it in your bag. Something that is literally just boom, done. Yep. Like seconds. You don't even have to look in the mirror. That's how good you want it to be.
That's exactly what I want.
Yeah, okay. I think then, anything that is probably just over maybe about an inch long on top is ideal. We'll leave a little tiny bit more at the front just so you've got a little bit of something going on. And then back and sides, your call. Whatever you want to do. You can do skin. We can do we can do trimmers. We can do 0, 1, 2. It's entirely up to you.
I quite like it short.
Okay. Would you like to start at like a 1 or a half or a half?
Maybe a half.
A half to start with, yeah.
Start with that. And
that's fine.
just kind of gradually. I don't really want a line.
Yeah, of course.
I think just to look at it a little bit. I don't want it to be too sort of savage of a difference.
Like
just
too aggressive,
something kind of gently.
That's fine. The one thing we must note though as well is that David does have an undercut at the moment, which doesn't matter at all to this haircut. But as you can see, he is already used to going short on the back and sides, right? So yeah, let's start with a 0.5, right? Let's start with that. Perfect. We'll do a nice ascending blend, which is the ascending is the one that's aggressive, where you put the line in first and you blend the line out. It always leaves a slight shadow, right? But that's the look that people are going for, right?
Yeah.
A descending blend is a lot more softer, all right? So if we're doing a half, we could start with a 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5, blah, blah, all the way down. Okay. It just looks a lot more seamless that way, all right? But yeah, okay, cool. Let's get you tied up. I know that sounds really wrong, doesn't it? But yeah, let's get your hair tied up and then we'll go from there, man, okay?
Sounds good.
Wicked. David, are you any more percentage on than you were? Are you more than 80 at the moment?
Yeah, I'm 90.
Okay.
I'll go 90.
So I'm going to tie this top bit up here because I've never, ever, ever been able to cut the top tied up for a transformation before. But because we're going so short, I'm going to be able to cut a lot away on this top bit, which I think might maximize the amount of hair we can donate. So I'm going to start with just putting a section in here first. Be the weirdest ponytail you've ever had, bud. I do apologise that it's on camera.
That's fine.
Right, so I'm just trying to get the most out of the hair we possibly can lengthwise. And plus, I don't know if I mentioned it to you, David, but there is a chance to be the winner of some cash.
Oh, right.
So we're doing a prize, right? So we're doing, our idea and our aim is to get to 1,000 inches of donated hair,
okay,
right? Now with that, when we get to 100 inches, whoever's top of the leaderboard at that point gets £100. Whoever's top at 250 inches gets £250. Then 500 and then 1,000. So when we reach our top, whoever's top at the 1,000 inch mark gets £1,000, right?
I've seen some of the guys that come in though, and there's like 17 years worth of growth, and the hair's down past the bottom of the chair.
Yeah, I know. You've got it. I know. If anyone's watching out there and you want to win that £1,000, you know what to do. That's it. You've just got to be unbeaten. That's all it is.
Exactly.
Be unbeaten.
I might have a chance at the 100 maybe, but.
I don't know. I think you've got a good chance here, bud. I think you do. I think the amount of hair, how close I can actually go is pretty good. So I can go very, very close to the head, you see, because we're going so short.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it, you see. And that's the main thing I've got to try and make sure I get is as close to the head as possible. So I'm in it with you, you know. I know it's our money we're giving away, but yeah, I'm in it with you. You know what I mean? This is probably the most fun I've ever had on this channel. This is awesome.
Well, when I'm probably like a lot of guys, I would think, who maybe never had their hair long until COVID.
Yeah.
And then we had the opportunity, since we couldn't get it cut,
yeah, 100%,
to actually grow it out.
Yeah, without doubt. Yeah.
And that was really what happened with me. I grew up in America in the South, in a very conservative sort of upbringing, and men didn't have long hair.
Yeah. Kind
of thing. So I just never had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah, of course. No, I get that. Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, and when I grew it out originally, yeah, I think I said my wife isn't a fan of long hair, but there's some guys in California who were doing like a world record attempt, and they were trying to get as many men to come in and donate hair all at one time, like in one day. And they
wow,
like the most hair donated in one day.
Oh, that's amazing.
And I was going to do that, and that was last year in San Diego or something somewhere.
Right.
But I couldn't afford to go in the end.
Yeah.
And but I've always had the idea that I wanted to donate it, so to grow it out and donate it. And recently, I've just felt like it's just not working for me anymore. This is hilarious. I love it.
I'm doing my best to help you win here, David. I'm doing my best.
To definitely share a screenshot of this with me.
Well, I'll let you take some selfies before we start if you want.
Okay, cool.
No, this is honestly the best idea. I've got to say, I'm not the brains here, am I, Liam? This was all you on it, mate. I'm the magician who seems to try and make something out of nothing. Liam's the guy who comes up with the ideas.
So how common is it for particularly men to come in and want to sort of do this sort of thing, like really who've had their hair long? Because I know there's loads of them on your channel.
Yeah, loads. We seem to get them every single time we do a filming day, to be fair. Transformations are probably the biggest, probably one of the biggest things we do on the channel a lot of the time. And it's hard because we don't kind of we don't sort of like just reach out for like certain people or anything like that. We sort of do anyone, you know, so whoever turns up. Liam gets a brief description of what they want through the form you fill in, but I haven't got a clue. I never know who's coming in, which is the beauty of it. So it's new for me, it's new for you, and we try and capture that on camera. It always started off that way when we first started the channel. It was like we couldn't handpick people. We were so limited to who we could get in, we couldn't handpick anyone. So it just kind of stayed that way. It became our kind of signature way of filming, you see. Right. So, but it just made more sense. Like we get so many guys who come in who don't ever think of donating it, you see, and it's or we get guys coming in who may have coloured the hair and we can't donate it. So you get some options there where you're like, oh, I wish we could have donated this. This would have been amazing. And then obviously we get times when we can't. So yeah, it was just a bit of an idea to kind of stem into doing what we already do now, but make it an interesting series with a little bit of extra challenges in place, you know. Yeah, which is the leaderboard, which is great, and obviously the chance to win something as well. So obviously we donate up to 1,000 inches of hair, if not more, which is great charity. And then obviously, you know, in the process, you guys get something as well as a thank you. So
yeah, perfect.
Great.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
There we go. Right. So, are we ready?
We're ready.
Are we steady?
100%. Let's go.
100% now.
100%,
there we go.
Let's go.
Right, that's on camera, Liam. You can't dislike it now, okay? We've got it on camera. Ready? I'm going to try and get as much off as I possibly can for you, mate. Okay? Donate as much as I can. Yeah.
Yep.
Ready?
Let's go. There we go.
There we go.
It's all downhill from here.
Hopefully not. A bit more faith in me there, please, David. There we go. Last but not least, I think this is going to be the one. Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
Now, to see if you're on top, we're going to wait till the end. All right.
Nice.
So I'll leave that to the very, very end.
Okay.
Right. So let's get this washed.
Okay.
Conditioned, and then we'll get started. All right.
Sounds good.
Right, guys. So David's hair is shampooed and conditioned. Now I'm going to cut the top in, and then I'm going to descend down. Right. David doesn't want anything too harsh, so I'm going to start from the top and work all the way down to the half around the edges. All right. So I'm going to comb this out, and I'm going to work from the back just before the crown into the front. So I'm going to take a profile section straight down. I'm going to cut it just long enough that we can still put some product through it. That's the key thing, I think, here. Then with the emphasis of the top of the fringe being a tiny bit longer. That's what we're going to aim for today. All right? That was perfect. That's what I cut it to before. So I got the length right that I was looking to do. As you can see, look, that section there's already done. That's what we're working towards. A little bit more length at the front. So what was the reason for growing it out in the first place then? Was it just the fact that you got COVID and you could, not that you got COVID, we were in COVID and you could, you could just grow it out, yeah? Was that the initial reason, or did you want to do it for a long time?
No, I think that was the initial reason. I was from a very conservative background in America.
Oh, yeah.
And men didn't have long hair.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And so I never really, it just didn't really fit with anything that I was doing. And so I never really even thought about it as being an option until COVID.
Yeah.
And then, of course we couldn't get it cut, and it started to grow, and I kind of got into that really awkward middle phase. And I just thought, you know what? It's already growing. Why don't I just leave it and see sort of what happens and what it looks like?
Yeah, of course.
And so I just kept growing and really never stopped. Nice. And I grew it probably nearly shoulder length, and my wife really doesn't like it. Putting it mildly. Yeah, she hates long hair. on me anyway. And
What if Jason Momoa walked in the living room? Do you think she'd take long hair then? Do you think? Or
I don't know. I
doubt it.
I think it might be all right. I mean, I'm not muscly enough or something. I don't know. But
you should see past the long hair if he walked in, wouldn't you? Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
But so then what I did is before I cut it all off the first time, I actually went with that sort of super high undercut, like the Viking kind of
Like
style.
a Viking one, yeah.
But what I found is that I just didn't like it. There almost wasn't enough hair to even tie up. Like even if I tried to put a little, even sort of a small hair tie in it, just never seemed to hold. And I just think, my hair was maybe too thin or something. It just didn't really work.
Yeah.
And I had that for maybe a week and a half and then cut it off completely.
Oh, wow. Did you?
Yeah, just
Was it like buzzed it off or?
Yeah, just went into a barber and said, look, just do a high and tight kind of thing.
Wow. Okay.
And then instantly regretted it and started growing my hair
Started growing again. Yeah.
And that was about 3 years ago now. There's like a whole group of people in my life right now who've never seen me with short hair. So it's going to be a lot of surprised people when I rock up.
A haircut does not change how you look like so dramatically, especially something that you've done now. It's such a dramatic change. And, for a really good cause as well. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I know people may not like it and it might not work for your lifestyle, etc., but you've potentially made somebody extremely happy. You know what I mean? For when this gets donated to charity. So, I think in the long run, I think it's the best thing you could possibly do,
And
personally.
I thought about it a while back and there was, again, there's some other places that do it. There was a big thing in the US. They were going to go for some sort of world record or whatever.
Yeah.
But I reached out to them and I was graying at the time and I said, look, my hair is graying. I don't know if anybody's going to want it. And they said, no, absolutely, because there's older people.
Yeah.
And that's a natural look. So they're like, they need all different colors and all 100%. Different lengths and,
all different textures as well.
And all different textures. So they said, don't worry about that, they can always use it.
Yeah,
and,
100%.
And I just thought, okay, well then let's, I always knew when it grew out, when I got tired of it, then I could just donate it. And I happened to see you were starting a series and I was ready for a change anyway. So I just thought, brilliant, perfect timing.
Amazing.
Let's go. So
absolutely amazing.
Here we are.
So how do you feel at that point of, when you kind of accepted that you were going to come in and get it cut off? What was last night like, for example, when you knew you were coming in to get it cut off?
I was 80% excited and 20% sad.
Oh, okay. So you were still at the 80-20? You were still there?
I was last night for sure, yeah. And, again, it's that change, right? And I'm starting a new business and I'm doing some different things. And I kind of felt like I just wanted to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
100%. Start over
again, yeah.
New look.
Definitely.
And just sort of see where it goes. So, and I wanted somebody, I didn't want to go to a kind of a high street, I wanted somebody that had a bit more experience and a bit more skill to actually be able to give it a good cut.
Fair enough. I think when you're doing something like this as well, I think, the fact that you know what we're actually doing at the end of it is that we are giving it to charity. I think that's a good end to it all, isn't it, for anybody? You know what I mean? If you're going for something different,
yeah.
Like you're not just cutting it off and it's going in the bin. It's actually going to somebody, which I think is amazing. Personally, I just think it's a lovely thing to do. I really do. I think when we were discussing it, me and Liam, about doing it, it was just like, it's a no-brainer wanting to do something like this, because we get so many people who come in and they're either just too short or they've coloured it or they don't want to donate it as well. Some people don't want to donate it either. Some people are just happy just having it cut off. They've not even thought about it. And then obviously we're like, well, should we do it? And it got to a point where we thought, you know what? We get that many people coming in for transformations. Let's just do it. You know what I mean? Let's just do it and see where we can go with it.
It's going to be interesting to see what it's like, because I've kept it basically pulled back so much.
Yeah.
That it's going to, like, again, and it's been several years now that it's essentially been pulled back every day, most of the day. So it's going to be interesting to see what it sort of wants to do now.
What it wants to do. Well, put it this way, it'll probably want to do what it wants to do for a while, The problem is when you've had, say if it's had a parting in it or whatever, it tends to stay in that parting for a couple of days until you've kind of given it a good wash. So try and blow dry this natural parting out. we go. So I'm going to work down from the 4 down to a 0.5, okay?
Yep.
We've got our guide that we cut in here that we know is going to create a nice head shape as well. Again, even going short, you want to make sure the face shape's nice too, that you're complementing it. Let me just drop that down just a touch towards the back. So you see I'm just doing this, working up and off. I'm not going round, I'm rounding off the side of the head, I'm pulling away as we get just above the temple, because again, we're going quite short around the edges, so I can use this 4 as a kind of a point of the blend. Right down now, through the guards, 3.5. We're working up and pulling away just before we get to where the 4 is. Just doing that nice descending blend. It's not too harsh. It just gives David what he really wants, is just that sort of shorter, almost crop effect. So working through the lever. So this is a closed 3 now. So 3.5 is an open 3. A true 3 is a closed lever. There we go. Down into R2. Open, so 2.5. Close 2. You can see I'm just pulling away to where the 3 would be. 1.5, so 1 guard open. So when I'm doing this, I always leave the hair underneath the guard to see where I'm going to start again. One now. And then finally into the 0.5. So how did you come across our videos in general then, David?
I found your channel years ago.
Oh really?
I mean, I've been a subscriber for several years.
You're an actual subscriber as well?
Yeah.
You're not just a viewer?
I don't,
oh my
I don't
God.
just drop in every once in a while. No. There's something really cathartic about watching them, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
Just kind of seeing people come in and seeing the difference that it makes.
Definitely. I love it. It's stuff like this is just, like I said like at the start, this is so much fun, you know, because you walk in like, you know, you walk in and walk out like 2 different people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And of course, I did mention to a few friends that I was coming in, and I would say 90% of them, already knew who you were.
Wow.
And probably 60% of them already were subscribers as well.
No
so,
way.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I love it.
I mean, you've got like 500,000 subscribers, so you can't be surprised.
Well, I still am massively surprised, mate. It's honestly, I don't sort of sit there and expect it. Like, I don't be like, well, they definitely watch it. You know what I mean? I don't think like that at all.
It's also interesting. There's a really funny dynamic, I think, on social media. So I have a friend who makes knives.
Okay.
And some of his best performing videos on Instagram are of him just sharpening the blade.
Mm-hmm.
Like not doing anything, like for him, that's like the most boring thing that he does.
Yeah.
It sharpens it, but people love it.
It's like ASMR, isn't it?
It
though,
is,
as well?
Yeah. So it's like the clipper noise of you on the comb, and it's just those little bits that people actually like. There's something comforting in it. I don't know why.
Do you know what's funny though? Do you know when I get a haircut and I get the back and sides clipped, I do feel like I want to fall asleep.
Yeah.
It's almost like hypnotic in a way, isn't it? Because it's a consistent noise. It's obviously a lower frequency that obviously makes you, you know, chill out a little bit, I guess.
I think there's something in it, and it's what you're describing as well. But watching professionals do what they do, is really, it's enthralling, because you watch it and you go, I could never do that. It's you with doing this, right? Like we love watching you do it because it's what you do. Yeah. And it's just fun to watch somebody do that.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling?
I feel great.
Good.
It feels normal now.
Good. Was it weird having the sound of the clippers and feeling that blend going on and stuff like that? Was that weird?
No.
No? Good.
Again, it's, you know, I mean...
Fall straight back in, don't you? Almost. It's like as though you've never not had short hair, right?
Exactly.
It just feels so...
It's
the
normal.
memory is so normal, yeah.
That's right. I mean, I'm in my mid-50s now, so, you know, It was 50 years of having long hair, or short hair.
Short hair, yeah, of course.
It feels normal.
So it'll be weird, you know, when you wake up in the morning, you go to like move your hair out your eyes and you're like, oh God, where's it gone?
Yeah.
That'll be the interesting one.
What'll be weird is going outside and being cold. Because I reckon my head will be cold when I go
You've lost
outside.
the headscarf now, yeah?
Exactly.
That's basically what it is, isn't it, you know? Someone called it, like, it's like a scarf for your head. Because
Yeah,
it really is, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It is exactly like that, yeah.
And I've actually got a meeting, so I'm going to go to a meeting after this.
Oh, yeah?
And meet someone. So at least I'll have a few hours of it, you know, styled once I leave here before
100%.
I crush it with the helmet later.
Can I ask you what bike you've got?
I have a Honda VFR.
Very nice. I used to ride bikes back in the day.
Oh.
Yeah, I started off with an Aprilia RS125.
Yeah.
And then I moved on to I got a Phaser,
I love my Phaser.
400, I think it was. I think it was a 400. 600,
600s, yeah.
Yeah, and then a friend of mine used to have a CBR 600RR.
Yeah.
And I used to,
Nice.
yeah, I used to have a little go at that. I moved to London and I got rid of it.
Right.
And then I ended up with a Vespa. A 50cc Rev and Go Vespa, which was definitely not the same as having riding a you know, an R1 or a Fireblade, but you know, it got me around, got me from A to B. It was a purple Vespa that my client gave me because he was getting rid of it. Didn't want any money for it, just have it. I gave him a haircut for it. It had one wing mirror. You have to kickstart it to get it to start. But it used to cost me £7 a week on petrol. Yeah. And my insurance was like, my road tax was £12 and my insurance I think was like 80 or £100 a year or something stupid like that, you know. Yeah. It was a really, really cool way to get around. I missed that time where you just had me Vespa and I just jump on it and ride around, you know. It was awesome.
It looks like somehow you've made my hair more grey.
I've made it more grey. I've made it.
It seems to be more grey.
It's dark. It looks darker though.
Does it?
Yeah, I think so. I think it looks darker than when you came in. Yeah.
Okay.
From the top, I don't think it looks like you've got as much white.
Right.
Which is good. So grey's a good colour because it's not white. Then you see. Yeah. So, right. So I'm going to finish off with some scissor over comb now. Okay. I mean, as you can see, like that's how nice the blend blends in. Yeah, you know, it's so effortless to do a descend and blend. All we do is just work through the combs and just make sure you perfect that blend. So when you're going from like a 0.5 into a 1 or something like that, just make sure you kind of give it a little once over. And I think it's always nice again for barbers, hairdressers, you know, obviously if you use a lot of clippers, to finish off with the scissors. I think it gives that more refined finish. How's it all for you?
Yeah, it's good.
Happy, yeah?
Yeah.
Cool. Work this into your hair like that. You can put it in towel dried or dry, whatever you prefer to do. Just make sure you work it into the hair. And then if you're looking at the pictures we were looking at before, pretty much the kind of same thing, right? So you got that nice little bit of texture sitting through there. A little bit of length, just enough. Just put it up and over from left to right. That gets you the nice little bit of volume without trying, because it goes across your cow's lick, which is perfect. And then just twist and pull like that. And that's as simple as it needs to be. Just like that.
Cool.
Fits the head shape, fits the texture of your hair, and that's it. So that's how simple it can be.
Yeah,
all right.
Cool. That's what I mean.
You look so different. You look so different. Like in a good way, though. In a good way.
Younger.
You do. Yeah, 100%. You do. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, nice.
There's the back and sides.
Yeah, it's good.
So it sits in just nicely for you. It blends right down.
Yeah, and it's not too aggressive. That's what I like about it as well. So
all.
it's kind of it's a bit of a grown up. I think when I was younger, I liked a bit more kind of full on, thing. But now, because again, I do lots of video and all sorts of stuff. So I think it needs to look a bit more grown up.
Yeah. There we go, David. Let's get this off here. Right, so what I'd like you to do, I'm going to look for whichever one I think is the longest. We'll go with the longest one, just so you can see I'm not fixing this, right? This is purely, yeah, I think that's the longest one. Right, would you do me a favour? Would you hold this end for me?
Yep.
I'm going to measure it out to see where we're at.
Okay.
So from the end, if you keep tight hold, I'm going to pull on it a little bit, right? So we are at 11.5 inches, almost a foot long. 11.5.
Almost, yeah.
Now let's just see what it weighs, because I'd be quite keen to see how heavy this is. So the last one was 127 on Sal's, right? 42 grams. Difference in the weight, right? Difference in the weight. So 42 grams and 11.5 inches, right? So what we need to do, David, is I need to give you this pen. I need you to write your name on your photograph and then pin it up on there, please, if you don't mind, on the board behind. Just pin it up just on that corner there. Perfect.
There we go.
Nice.
Looking like Snoop Dogg.
So Sal remains top.
Yeah.
And David 11.5, 11.5. David 11.5 inches. So, not quite number one, unfortunately, but honestly, thank you so much for doing.
Thank you, man. That's brilliant. Love it.
You've done it. You've helped a lot of people, mate, and we do appreciate you coming in. So thank you so much.
No,
giving
thank
up
you
your hair
very
for it
much.
as well.
Yeah, brilliant.
Thanks, man. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
we'll see you
All
next
the
time.
best.
Cheers.
You will. Thanks very much.
Okay.
And that is you, David. That is you, all off.
Awesome.
There as well.
Thank you very much.
Starting to get a collection of these now. There we go. Keep that there. Thanks again, man.